Hey guys, so here I am again, still not 100% well, battling this stupid virus. The doctor has decided that it's actually bacterial now, so I've got some antibiotics and yeah, it's been like 7 days since I've been diagnosed with this thing. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about Rambo First Blood Part 2 on 4K. Now, this is one of my favourite films. Rambo for me is just one of those characters that is just so over the top and so iconic. He's such a staple of the 80s that, being an 80s kid, I just fell in love with Rambo because he's awesome. And this is the one where Rambo kind of becomes that iconic action figure that we all kind of think of when we think of Rambo. Now, First Blood was very much, what do I say, realistic, but it was a more grounded take on the character, more human, basically taking on the sheriff in a small town after he's unjustly arrested and, you know, kicking ass. This one, he's been sent to jail, he's smashing rocks at the beginning of the film. Troutman turns up, Richard Crenna. We got a mission for you, Rambo. You're going to get a pardon if you do this one mission. And Rambo's like, okay, cool. Like that, because I got the voice for it. Okay, cool. No, it's not as bad. So he's got to go to Vietnam again. And he's going to go check out this camp, this supposed abandoned camp. I'm sorry if I'm wobbly, I'm just holding this one-handed again. Very free and easy, freestyling with my reviews lately because I'm just too tired to set up the whole thing. I've got a camera, I've got a light, I've got a fan, and I've got a movie in my brain to talk to you about it. The plot. Murdoch, played by, what's he played by? Charles Napier. Sends Rambo on this mission, strictly recon. Gotta go in there and check this camp out in Vietnam where it's hot and there's mozzies, and he's got to see if this camp's actually abandoned. Just take photographs and get out. And Rambo's like, just take photos. What if I find someone? And he's like, and what's his name again? Murdoch is just like, photos only, man, that's the rules, that's the job, go in. So anyway, he flies in with the pilot, who is Kreese from Karate Kid, Mutton Cove. He's in this, that's cool. So he's the pilot. They fly in, and Rambo's got to jump out of the helicopter. Oh, it's hard to talk when you can't English very well. He gets strung up, so a bit of a tense action scene at the beginning where he's got to like cut himself loose because he's getting dragged by the is it a plane? It's a plane, not a helicopter. And eventually cuts himself loose, drops down into the area after like getting rid of all his supplies naturally. So he's got to be like stripped down, like literally just pants and a knife, Bowie knife, very nice. Goes to the camp. And lo and behold, the camp's not deserted. There's some Viet Cong there, and there's some POWs. Prisoners of war being tortured and locked up in really, you know, horrible conditions like rats, and they're sick. So Rambo, being Rambo, decides he's going to get one of these guys out of there. So he breaks one free who's up on like a cross, makes his escape. Helicopter comes in to collect them, but this is where Murdoch kind of like becomes the evil bad guy of the piece, tells them to abort mission. Troutman is on board too, like, what are you talking about? We can't abort. He's just there, guys. But then another guy and another soldier in the helicopter pulls a gun on Troutman and says, you know, don't. Kreese, Martin Cove. He's not Kreese in this though. He's Erickson. So they abandon Rambo and this poor pal to be, you know, captured and tortured by the Viet Cong. Russians turn up and all hell breaks loose. So they got Rambo and they're torturing him, they're electrocuting him. Meanwhile, Troutman's back at the encampment where the Americans are, and he's going off at Murdoch, you know, you made a big mistake. And Murdoch's like, what mistake is that? And then Troutman's like, Rambo. You like my acting? This is why I'm not an actor. This is why I do videos about movies, not actually be in them. So yeah, so Rambo ends up busting loose from the Russians who are like, you know, electrocuting him and not treating him very nicely. And Rambo busts loose, there's gunplay and firefighting all over the place and explosions. Oh, this is one of the films too. This is the only film in the franchise where Rambo almost has like a romance with Ko. Is her name Ko? I haven't got my glasses on. Let's keep straight. Yeah, Ko, played by Julia Nixon. She was really nice in this. So this is the one time Rambo has a screen kiss, but unfortunately, spoiler alert, she gets killed by the bad guys, so that makes him go a little bit nuts. So Rambo escapes, and then it's just one man army taking on the Viet Cong and the Russians, and then rescuing the POWs. There's gunships and helicopter fights and all that kind of stuff. All the cool stuff, and then gets back to the compound at the very end, rescues all the POWs and shoots the place up, and, you know, threatens to kill Murdoch, but he doesn't. So it's written by Sylvester Stallone and James Cameron. So having James Cameron on board for me is a big tick. This film is phenomenal. It's just fun from beginning to end. It's just over the top, action mayhem. The tongue is firmly planted in cheek, and all it wants to do is just entertain you, and it does that so remarkably well. Much like Arnold Schwarzenegger and his Terminator franchise, this character of Rambo is just perfectly suited for Stallone. There's not a lot of dialogue for him to say, fortunately. It has another little dialogue bit at the end here, and once again, Sly really does show his limitation, the limitation of his range. Much like Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, not a lot of dialogue there for them, there for him either. Just a lot of magnetic screen presence, and that's what these guys have in spades, and that's why they're superstars. Stallone does get better in his career, but this film is not about that. It's about Rambo shooting shit up, explosions, bad guys versus good guys, one-man army, and then Rambo just kicking ass and taking names. And that's all it is. That's all it is. A step above your typical 80s action films. It's just beautifully shot, directed by George A. Cosmatos, who also did Cobra, another one of Sly Stallone's vehicles, about a cop, R-rated film, pretty gritty and heavy and violent. I remember it being a little bit scary for me too as a kid, but it's not a great film, but if you're a fan of Sly, it's worth checking out. It's just really filmed quite well, and I don't know if Cameron had any presence on set. Being the writer, yeah, I don't know if he was like on hand doing like some DP work or anything. I should check. I've got a thing here in front of me. Composer of the music, Jerry Goldsmith. The music in this is also amazing. The Rambo theme is just incredible. Love it. Writer, yeah, so we got David Morrell, based on his characters from First Blood. Kevin Jarre, Sylvester Stallone, and James Cameron. No other work from Cameron. But the film is just top-notch entertainment from beginning to end. It's my favourite one of the franchise, so I really dig the hell out of this second one. It's just the epitome of what a Sly Stallone action film is. Now the 4K HDR resolution of this thing is very, very nice too. I did have a few hiccups with my TV settings today. When I first put the disc in, there's a lot of artifacting and some weirdness was going on. The picture wasn't clear, especially the darker scenes. So I thought, oh, the disc is faulty. So I kind of played around with the settings, and lo and behold, it wasn't the disc. My TV had just had a setting which needed to be adjusted. I was on like a super high resolution setting, and it was on high, so I couldn't really handle all the dark scenes without the artifacting appearing. So once I dropped it down a notch to medium, it cleared it right up. And I had the color gamut on white. Now you'd think the white color gamut would be better. It wasn't. It really kind of like oversaturated the skin tones a lot. So like Rambo was looking orange at some points, and some of the Viet Cong guys, the color was not quite right, and the explosions when they were happening were like just oversaturated. So I kind of put that back to standard, the color gamut, and I skipped back a few chapters just to rewatch to see what the difference was, and it was a much more naturalistic tone. So in the end, yeah, I did kind of see the film as it was meant to be, and there is some grain in this one as well. It's an older film, but yeah, the HDR didn't really kind of kick into gear until the sunny scenes, like when the sun came out over this beautiful Vietnamese setting. Yeah, the inky blacks at the beginning and the dark scenes were nice, but the colours were very muted. But once that sun hit and all the colours and all the vibrancy of the jungle hit, all those lush greens, Rambo's bandana, the uniform of the Russian soldiers with their blue patch on their arm, the vibrancy of the Vietnamese, the prostitutes. There's some prostitutes in here with their beautiful coloured suits, their dresses. It's really nice purples and blues and reds. And the explosions, of course, looked sick. Explosion galore. It was fantastic. And all the scenes at the end, so when that bright light was hitting the set, yeah, it looked really, really nice. Very crisp in detail. Some of the scenes had like a soft focus as well, like they put Vaseline over the lens. Not a lot of scenes, but a few. And you could really kind of tell in this crisp 4K resolution that really kind of like smeared badly. Well, not badly, but it just definitely smeared up a fair bit. So they were definitely there, but that's kind of what they did in the 80s. They had a lot of soft focus scenes, you know, when they're looking at the ladies and it's romance, and it just kind of glosses over. But definitely the rest of the film, it just looked incredible. It was the best I've ever seen it. If you're a fan of the Rambo series and you got 4K, definitely pick it up. I was very impressed with First Blood. That looked nice as well. You can see my review further down. And this one, yeah, I was very impressed. Once I got the settings right, I was quite happy. It looked really, really cool. I do have part 3 to watch as well. Looking forward to checking that one out. This is my least favorite in the series, but has got some iconic moments in it, which I'm looking forward to checking out. And so far, no word on Rambo, which is part 4, if that's getting a 4K release at all either. I'd imagine it would if we got Rambo 5 coming very, very soon. Well, not very soon, later in the year I'd imagine. I'm sure they'd want to bundle that or re-release part 4 in the 4K format as well. Because, yeah, they're awesome. Love the Rambo series, a lot of fun. It's Stallone at his best. And, yeah, you definitely got to turn your brain off when you watch them, because they're not meant to be taken seriously. They're action, they're violent, and they have a thing to, and they do have a little bit to say about the political climate of the time as well. But it's action, guys. This is just fantasy. Turn your brain off and enjoy the ride, because it's just Stallone doing what he does, blowing things up, shooting people, punching people in the face, you know, flying helicopters around and blowing shit up, and having a good time doing it. Because, hey, that's what he does. Yo, Adrian. Wrong film. With my croaky voice, I'm finding I can do pretty good Sly impersonation. That's probably debatable. Anyway guys, thanks for checking in, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.